operator bans. So we saw what was very particular picks and bans in the previous map, getting rid of Ash. Big choice and big play there. I feel like these are going to be more standards. These guys, as we said, Deathrow, people don't know much about them. New Deathrow. So I think we're going to initially rely on standard bans, and there goes Glaz.
Insanely powerful operator right now, very, very meta, has a insanely high win rate delta at the moment as well. So yeah, no surprises coming out there. The Glaz ban, maybe a target specific ban, but not really too sure about how much Deathrow know about Instinct's playstyle. Glaz going to get banned out, and the Dakabi is going to get banned out as well, but that is going to leave quite a lot of high utility attackers on the board. Wouldn't be too surprised to see some shields coming out. We didn't see any shields coming out last game.
No, obviously, for those who don't know, before the season started, we took to the players. The CCS is a wonderful league. Took to the players. There goes Mira, as I said, standard ban on this point, to see what kind of rules they wanted to implement in terms of operators. Obviously, Lion has been caged. He is not out to play. Sorry. The new operators are under their analysis period as well, alongside the Ubisoft recommendations. And there was a vote about the amount of shields you could bring. And NA didn't. They wanted a limit on the shields. They did want the limit. EU didn't. They were happy to have as many shields run, and they've decided to not run any.
Yeah, that is a very interesting, controversial difference between the regions there. We will see Pulse get it banned out by Deathrow. That is going to leave Echo and Maestro on the board. And just a quick reminder as well, as Fluke said, we are using the Ubisoft guidelines there as voted on by the players. That means we are going to see 6 rounds in a row here before we swap it around, rather than 5, which we saw last season. And of course, this is a best of 2 format. First to 7 rounds will win, but there is limited overtime.
So, round 1, map 1, Coastline, Blue Bar, Sunrise. This is, as we said before, and as we will say every test game, this is how the teams will set their tone for the rest of this season. The season is long, the season is arduous, but you want to hit the ground running. So far, out of the 3 games that have happened, all of them have been 2-0s in terms of the map count, which means it doesn't sound as bad as it is, but it means they get 3 points rather than draws. No draws yet. They're going to want to match that. Nobody is wanting to hit the end of this first week with a draw.
Yeah, no, that's definitely very true. You don't want to go in with it with a draw. I think that because of the best of 2 format, though, the whole match is very much determined in the first map.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, we talk about momentum, we talk about the psychology of the game as well. If you drop the first map, it becomes a much more arduous thing, because you know that every single round matters in that next map, and as soon as you start to slip just a little, it feels like you're slipping a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely very true. You've got to be thinking about what the players are thinking about at that point. But we are going to see a castle is going to be brought here for a Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar defense. Kind of unusual coming out here from Deathrow. I got to admit, I wasn't expecting this.
No, the thing is, we talked about Valkyrie, but look at the amount of information gathering on that team. They have the Maestro, the Echo, and the Valkyrie all running on what is considered it's quite a small map. It's quite a tight map internally with a lot of tunnels, a lot of corridors. But here they are running so much information gathering utility, and then they have the dock and the castle to slow down the push as well and kind of funnel the attackers. At the same time, the attackers have a lot of possibility to push against us here. They have Zephyr charges, they have butt grenade, they have the Jackal shotgun as well. There's a lot there for them to start to at least break down. IQ is going to be very important.
Did Valkyrie just throw a camera outside a Sunrise window there?
I didn't see it, actually.
I'm pretty sure she did while lying below it, and the IQ was literally staring at her, but there goes one Valkyrie camera already. We're not really seeing too much aggression coming out from Deathrow. I really thought that they'd be acting on the amount of intel that they have, but there we go! That's what I wanted! Lion gets the double nitro kill. There we go. That's 2 members off the board already from Instinct. That is not a good start from them. And that's already the Jackal and the Zofia off the board. Some pretty important kills coming out there. Valkyrie will get traded out, but Deathrow looking really, really good now.
Yeah, that was some brilliant C4 timing. And again, we talk about the use of information in Valkyrie, and that was Valk using all of her abilities there. The beautiful C4 loop with the double. Shinka takes Frey, but Frey gets the return frag. They died together. A ballet of death. Crespix gets strong as well. 2 versus 2 with a minute on the clock. Plenty of time. Doc is just carrying behind the bomb there, trying to get a little bit of a hold as Sinshiro is playing deep in the kitchen. Buckamission is above, trying to find this Doc, looking for just a foot or an angle to start threading some bullets and getting a bit of pressure against the poor Doctor. Crespix is going for a rotation, wants to push against the Maestro, but Maestro is watching and zapping and forcing Hibana into a situation she did not want to be in just yet.
Not yet at all. Flashbangs are going to go down deep into the site. Hibana gets control, and there goes desummed. That's going to be all down to the Maestro of Sinshiros. Let's see if he can bring it in. He's going to go for the pre-fire, but not be able to find any kills just yet. There's vertical play coming through. Flashbangs go down. Shinshiro just cannot catch a break here. He cannot get his entry. Hibana charges are going to go down to try and open up the wall a little bit more, but Shinshiro does get his little bit of intel, as he gets into the site. He gets his pick. And now it's a 1v1. It's all between him and the Book. He's going to go for the pre-fires, trying to bait the Book into peeking here exactly. But the info comes through. It's not going to win in the fight. Ambition takes it down. And will be Team Instinct to take round number 1.
That was some pretty strong play there. Obviously, Instinct lost 2 operators so early on. But we talk about the importance of getting refrags, and there it was almost straight away. They locked down the Valkyrie before she could cause any more damage. If she'd have gotten away after that double kill, that could have been a very different round. It was great play and great cover by Amizian there.
Yeah, great plays indeed coming out, but yeah, very right down to the wire. There was a lot of control for the attackers there. There was some great early picks from the defenders though, don't get me wrong, and we'll see how exactly this is going to go through as we move into round number 2.
Now, obviously, we talk about the kind of balance in teams and what they can bring to a fight. And as you mentioned before, Coastline is an attacker-favored map. They're going to go to hookah and billiards, go for the point rotation, and they've generally swapped the strategy quite quickly. They seem to have a plan A for this that they want to roll out. They've obviously bought the Elysian this time as well. Echo is off the board. So it'll be interesting to see how much this translates. Maestro had a little bit of usage, was dug pretty well. Sneaky little bout camera. We talk about her new strength, but she's going for a teeny tiny little close range one there.
Strength and finesse, I would say.
Accuracy. Pinpoint with a camera at 100 yards she can hit you, and then 1,000 yards, and then it never stops going. The camera never stops chasing.
Yeah, 12,500 kilometers, somewhere between that kind of range. We'll see how the rest of this does go down. Again, like, there was so much intel from Deathrow. I still feel like they failed to really capitalize on all the info they had available to them. Maybe want to play this a little bit more aggressively. I think as a defender on Coastline, you really do have to play a lot more aggressively.
Yeah, you've got to be willing to use the full stretch of this danger donut. You've got to be willing to rotate and push as well. We've seen some amazing play inside main lobby, especially obviously the balance before was they had this castle and they were shutting down and waiting for information, and yeah, it worked. They got the great double kill with the C4, but then you think, well, what then? Crespix looked a little bit irritated with how they played against that hookah window. Valkyrie is still standing, though barely, as Liz Wade makes his way to the top there and starts drilling against that billiards wall.
He's going to start drilling against it indeed as we move further into these rounds. This is not looking too good for Deathrow. They've lost quite a lot of control already, and a lot of them are very lit up right now. This billiards control is just not ending too well for them. The main objectives here for the attackers are to get control of VIP, open up the wall, then push Aquarium, and a lot of that is going very well right now for Instinct.
Yeah, they are very much, they know where they need to be, they're getting their angles, they're shutting stuff down, and there's the bomb location, putting a little bit of damage into Maestro as well. You can see they're rotating around 90. Jaeger is just pulling themselves a bit back around, I believe. It is Shinka, as Crespilks is looking to shut down against that hookah side now.
and looking to shut it down, and indeed, and see Ponef is going to make his way through into the objectives, just slowly but surely through Aquarium, and we'll see exactly how that works out for him. But Strong still holding Strong down onto the blue stairs, and we'll see Lion on the roam as well. There's still nice presence coming out from Deathrow, but they've lost quite a lot of control over the key areas. If they're able to shut them down, however, on a potential retake, it could go well for them. But 1 minute left to go on the clock. Ambition is the wiser here, moving through into the bottom of A, seeing what he can do here. Still has one frag grenade as well, but the diffuser is actually going to start going down. There's no intel from Deathrow. What is going on right now? The diffuser will go down. This is going to be a hard retake from them, as Habana will take down Strong, and it's going to be Sinshiro who just managed to find his own kill. Moving through here as well. That's a beautiful frag from Sinshiro. And that's a 2v4 situation. This is post-plant, don't forget. And that does not bode well. Even if it's a 4v2, this is still very hard to play for. But Ponef will start off things right for Instinct. Team Stones will go down. Sinshiro will go down as well. That's a 2k for him. It's a 2v2. Now Lion pushes up on the bomb. He can't find a kill here, but Lion does find one. Instantly traded up by the Zofia, but he is traded out as well. Shinka gets it. I just think he has enough time. I don't actually think he has enough.
Oh, it's a roll of the dice. Did that? No, they just did. Oh, for a second there, I thought accidentally hitting the reload animation cost him, but no. Pulled through, pulled out. There was some beautiful holding there from Puanef on the outside balcony. A great push from Lion against them to get a very important frag. Obviously cost him his life, but opened up the possibility for the close down there from the other side from Sinshiro.
Yeah, looking very interesting indeed. We'll move through into round number 3 now. We'll see another blue bar Sunrise bar defense. I'm kind of surprised the fact that we don't have a mirror here, that we're not seeing kitchen service entrance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's so important in terms of holding that point. And well, there's a position to have her on kitchen service entrance, I would say. But there's still a lot of possibility to play without her, getting above and getting below. I know that the standard point a lot of people go to, or avoid going to even when they don't have a mirror, is that penthouse. Is that there's so much danger, it's so blocky, holding DJ, holding VIP, Hall of Fame. Whereas, as you said, this corridor that they have played in before is generally the main place to put a mirror. But outside there, a rotation hole behind the bomb offers you quite nice cover to keep it watched. And then stack up above, stack up with that vertical play. But they just don't want to go there.
Yeah, they just don't want to go there indeed. We'll see how the rest of it does go through as we move into round number 3. Deathrow, surprisingly looking pretty coordinated here. I mean, they didn't really seem to have any plant denial. There you go, Lion. But they didn't really need it. They had a good retake strategy coming through, and if you just play for trades like that, it can go very well. That was very aggressive.
That was close. They shot a bit too high and seemed to get a little bit stuck on the door as they came back into that aquarium. That was a hold on to your seat kind of moment.
I was kind of just pulled some breath there, see what's happened. But Lion does get away with it. No harm, no foul. Doesn't throw far, as Instinct does make his way through on to this sort of east side clear. I was going to think the Habano was almost going to take the head clean off there, as he's going to peek it very, very aggressively. T-Sum still wanted to contest this angle, however, both being fairly lit up from this. But Doc obviously has the ability to stim himself.
Yeah, he's getting himself boosted. He's kind of baiting that fight, because if you drop that hard destruction, I mean, it can be a big take for a team. It's not the end of the world on a point like this, but it means that hatch that was kind of a big push point in the previous round, especially with that buck, gets shut down. And that would be a very, very nice breath of fresh air for Deathrow on the defense. However, a minute 40 left, and there is the first frag, and it is Lion with the C4 and the double as he catches Liz Wyatt and the Claymore, rotating up those cool vibes stairs. Crestbilks gets T-Zoomed, but that was a very good push there from Lion.
Kind of bad communication coming out there from Instinct as well, because Ponef was still looking at the vertical play. Well, he should have known that the Valkyrie, he could have pushed cool vibes at any point there. And it's not looking too good for them right now, but there we go. The call will go out. Ponef will shut down Lion very, very well. And we'll see how it is going to go down. Now it's a 3v3 situation. And Strong's just pushing all the way around onto Sunrise Bar. We'll see the shotgun holes will get made up by PoNF. It's not looking too good here so far for Deathrow, but there we go. Strong will start things off right for them. There goes the Habana, and that was a 2v3 situation. Frey just holding it down, very, very tight angle, still trying to get this refrag where he can, but it's not looking good for them so far. 40 seconds left to go. They're now starting to play against the clock. As you say, you're playing against two people. You're playing against the enemy team. You're playing against the clock, and they're starting to run out of that time.
30 seconds. 3 versus 2. Castle, Maestro, and Echo. But there is Maestro no more. 2 versus 2. A big take there from a Maestro who again seemed to get caught out. Beautiful push. Strong against Frey. Took the aggression to the fight. It is down to PoNF here now. And he is a high enough caliber player. Bringing the Echo drone a bit closer to offer some cover. There goes the Shock trying to catch him out. But Shinka from behind finds the man in the back.
Insanely well played coming out from Deathrow. Just keeping up the aggression. Totally on top of that. And great intel coming out from them as well. Just overall, very well played, but particularly well played from Lion as well. Potentially Instinct missing a few comms here, not quite as quick as they should be with them.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been a pretty hefty part on it. Obviously, as soon as this push comes, you've got to look at counter. You've got to look at how you can play against what they're doing. A Siege is a game of react and react. And when stuff starts to fall apart, comms is the saving grace. And so far, they're kind of not utilizing enough of it, really.
Which is disappointing to see, of course. Moving into round number 4, however, we're going to see exactly how this is going to go through. Deathrow looking pretty strong right now. Having taken 2 rounds on defense so far, and they're going to go for Penthouse Theater for the first time this series.
So Penthouse Theater, without a mirror, there's ways to play it. It's not the easiest place to hold. As I said, that wall of contention between the bedroom and between VIP becomes a pretty decisive part of this. You see most teams push against the Hall of Fame. Most teams shut down a little bit from the bathroom shower drop down as well, and kind of apply that pressure to the other side as well as underneath. You can get that wall from underneath, and I think vertical play could be the make or break for how these guys hold this.
It could definitely be the make or break. I'm still kind of surprised we haven't seen Kitchen Service Entrance, just because, you know, mirror is being banned. This is a very typical site if you don't have a mirror. Penthouse Theater tends to be the typical site if you do have a mirror. So I think mirror very much defines how you can play the defense on this map. This is going to be a very interesting one, despite the fact that quite a lot of times that Deathrow haven't really kept much control of the VIP. It doesn't matter, because Strong can just do things like that and run out and kill the Zofia and get away with it for free.
Yeah, that was with the invisibility gun, the strongest gun in the game. Valkyrie is showing what those cameras can do, waiting for IQ to come in, potentially going to go for something from above. There goes the camera. Frey, IQ looking for it there, putting pressure on, but this is the fear that good information can put against a team. This is exactly what you don't want to happen, and you see they are losing that footstep. They're losing the ground that they were previously taking so comfortably. As we said, they're putting pressure on Hall of Fame and DJ Balcony. They want to start closing against VIP. A mission breaking in on the opposite side service, and as I said, something else I said, Buck with that vertical play, clearing out, making sure they're under no immediate threat, but there is so much roof they can open up here and start to put some aggression. 1:45 on the clock. All the defenders still standing. A lot of late game operators as well, and Lesion, Valkyrie, Maestro, and Echo, all heavy information, and the ACOG fear of Rook never really leaves you. But PoNF finds Lion pushing aggressively into Hall of Fame. Strong gets a return frag against Emission. That is the Buck down underneath. Very, very big good take. In the same time, Crestblix has started to break open that penthouse wall. Barnett is putting pressure there. Strong is exceptionally injured, but they have a minute 10, and the fear is still there. IQ still hasn't managed to gain too much ground against the Valkyrie, and all this information being shown up. The drones are coming out, a minute left, plenty of time. They're knocking on the door, digging themselves a little bit of a rotation, has 2 smoke grenades, and Jaeger is nowhere to be seen. That is a lot of power to hand an attacking team. Sheikah's dropping drones, and ACOG can be effective, but again, here they are, stacked in VIP, worried about someone coming around from behind. There goes the zapping. Is that all they're going to throw against Hibana, who is pushing straight into point, continually going against them? There's the C4 from underneath, and it catches. Crestblix is gone.
Beautiful C4 coming out there. Indeed, now it's a 4v2. What a shot from Ponef and a kill from Frey. Evens the scoreboard out. 2v2 now and 15 seconds left to go. All Deathrow have to do is just hold on. They have the Echo drone in place and it doesn't deny the diffuser, and that's not good. Diffuser will go down yet again from Instinct, but can this time, can they hold it down? The Echo is going to give away the nice intel. There we go. Sinshiro gets one, but Ponef gets one back on him. See some trying to chase down this frag where he can. He's got the bearing 9 in hand. He's going to chase it all the way through. Sees the Claymore, doesn't shoot just yet, so he's going to give away his position. Moves all the way through onto Red Hole. Ponef just pushing all the way back, but he will win the fight. Instinct take round number 4.
That was a very violent game of Ring Around the Rosies, the pair were playing, and could have gone either way. Ponef almost got the double straight from it. A very strong round. Took ground so quickly and so decisively, and was really the cornerstone of them breaking in. And then they reached a point where they thought, well, we've prodded enough, let's just go for the push, and the only thing instantly stopping them was a Maestro cam.
Yeah, again, just really lots of intel coming out from Deathrow. Potentially just not making good use out of it. Again, the Echo coming through just a little bit too late there. It's unfortunate. You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. 2-2. Back and forth between these guys. No one wants to hand off any ground yet. And we mentioned before about the kind of legacy that Ponef has in this game. That's definitely leading by example. Really a shining light for the team. But kitchen service entrance, we wanted to see it. Here it comes alongside a Kavira.
Cav has been increasingly popular in comp these days. I'm not sure about the 6 plate from the Valkyrie. I think the Valkyrie's been pretty useful for Deathrow so far. We've definitely seen Lion use Valkyrie to great effect so far. But Cav can be very interesting here. I'm very interested to see how it comes through. What's also interesting, on top of that, is that the rank stats came out for like what operators are good and what operators are bad, and the win rates and stuff. Cav has a very high win rate in ranks, which maybe reflects a little bit on how good she is as an individual operator. Obviously, in ranked, completely different playstyle than competitive is, and I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just trying to draw the fact that maybe Cav can become a little bit more meta. She kind of just gets thrown away in comp quite a lot, but we've seen her used at majors now, and she has been very effective.
Yeah, we've seen, I think it's Udis really sets a tone when he plays a Cav, but she's an operator. She has so many good abilities, obviously, to silent step, especially in the day and age of tracking in this game and how much blood that boils alone. Having an operator that can play against that, they can sometimes do more than you would expect them to previously.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to move through further into round number 5 now, and Lion is going to be playing insanely aggressively right now, and they will give away the fact that there is a Cav on the board. And did he get the drone?
No, they unfortunately did not. There's no drone. The drone lives another day, but here comes more of them. A mission. Fast Ash knocking straight through onto that Hall of Fame corridor. They're trying to get this vertical control, and they have it. Sophia covering the other side. They have the Jackal to shotgun. The charges go down. Hard destruction is a possibility, but since Shinro even, pronouncing that wrong, apologies, is looking for a return frag with that beastly ACOG Elder through the floor.
Yeah, trying to get the kills where he can, indeed, as Liz Wade is going to be trying to do what he can there. But we're not going to see too many frags going down just yet. But this is quite a lot of vertical control being gained already, and see that Jackal shotgun is just tearing up the floor here. to try and get as many angles as you can. This is the big problem with kitchen service entrance, is once you lose the vertical control, things start to slip away from you. But this is also the factor why not having mirror here can actually be very beneficial, because if vertical control gets open early, your mirrors kind of just get popped immediately. That's not an issue if you try and hold it maybe from sunrise bar or anything like that, but despite all the vertical plates already being opened up, there are no kills on the board from either side just yet.
No, and there's a minute left on the clock. That is a lot of players to have alive at this point, and it's going to make the push of the attackers much harder to come to fruition. Cav is still playing around in that connecting hallway, but Puanef finds Shinro. That is the maestro off the board as they start to put pressure on that service entrance, looking for any potential picks. They need to close down a little bit more. The fray is going against Cav, but Cav finds Ash, and bullets go across Frey, who is completely unaware Strong was hiding there.
Beautiful kill coming out from Strong. Frey goes down. Oh no, Herbani is all the way into the side, but Strong picks up another one. 2v4 now. Ponef gets another one. Liz Wade finds one. And that's now a 2v2 situation, looking pretty good for Deathrow to hold on to this. They have time on their side. Diffuser does get recovered by Liz Wade. He goes for a default plant spot. And as more smokes are going to come out, what a shot from Strong. Takes down the Diffuser. Shinka finishes things off onto Ponef. Deathrow take round number 5. Some very impressive defenses coming out from Deathrow so far.
No, Strong is proving themselves as a player this game. Some beautiful picks in that round, and held it so long behind that desk. Cav was taking the bait. Cav was getting the attention, dropped the Ash, which was definitely a pretty important frag with how the rest of that round rolled out. But beautiful then pick up against an IQ that did not expect it.
Yeah, definitely very well done indeed from Deathrow, but this is going to be their final defense before they are allowed to move through onto the attack. Let's see how they hold this, as they're going to go for a penthouse theater, and those are the Rook and Doc, the ACOG brothers.
And Maestro and Echo too. That is a stack of ACOGs.
Yeah, well, I mean, Shinro has been playing... Sorry, Shinro has been
I've
playing...
made the same mistake.
He's been playing Hollow on Maestro.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Why? I
think some players find it easier for the recoil, right?
No,
if you're trying to go for the sprays, you're trying to go for the covering fire rather than just the taps and burst. That it's easier to use the Hollow.
Hey, we've seen some interesting decisions, and these guys are the pros. I'm just the one that pretends to know what I'm talking about. So, Shinka going for the rotations. We've seen them, to be fair, doing some pretty aggressive peeking, but this is the least. Obviously, they've dropped Valkyrie for maybe the second time out of the rounds that they've played so far. And yeah, Valk herself might not have left her mark too much on this game, but the information from these guys definitely has.
Yeah, and it's still going as well. And the Maestro and the Echo picks are coming through, but still from Deathrow, I still get the feeling that some of this utility isn't being brought to its full effect. It's interesting that Lion's been playing very different operators all over the place. He's been playing Valkyrie, he's been playing Cav, and now Bandit. Yeah,
he seems to be comfortable with a lot, which... I mean, there's always the balance. There's being unexpected, and there's kind of having expectations of what you are going to bring to a team and to a push. And it's nice to have fluidity and flexibility in a game. But it's also, obviously, there's some times where, hey, you know, you've got to kind of find your groove and master it and learn it. And it's an instrument. And, you know, I guess in a game where it's 3 versus 2, it's been very back and forth. These guys have been pretty great at picking up against each other. Maybe in a game where they find their groove a little bit more, we'll see Lion sit happy. Or maybe he's just a really big Lion fan and is furious that Lion has been banned. Potentially. We will find out soon more about that. But it's going to be Strong who kicks off things very, very nicely with a kill behind the bookcase. He's going to get traded out, but that's already the IQ off the board there. It's a pretty good pick, and that's going to stop those Echo Drones being found out too early on. That is pretty good for Deathrow, honestly. Losing your Doc for an IQ, very beneficial for them.
and it is even the score but out 4v4. But Amici is going to open up the vertical play from below. That's going to allow the Habana to open up onto the wall and see exactly if he can get the entry into the site. But Shinka does have this nice angle down into VIP, and of course the wall is opened up. So they have this very, very long angle, and they could probably pick someone up here, but Lizwade is paying attention to it.
We see obviously Doc's off the table, but Rook is still hanging around with that angle. Lizwade is going to drop the Maestro cam, which obviously they would utilize. No, doesn't, unfortunately. Is still watching Habana roll in, zapping. Habana doesn't get the drop on it either and takes a lot of damage. And there it goes, Lion from underneath. You bandit beast almost gets the double, putting more bullets towards it. The C4 got torn, but it did not catch Lion, who's going to rotate out of there, but that will definitely give them food for thought. Does not drop the Echo drone. It worked as a perfect distraction against Puanef as Shinka cleans up, and it is suddenly Zafia versus the world.
Yeah, Lizwade in a 1v4 clutch situation. The Echo drone hits him, and Lion finishes it off. Very well done from Deathrow. Round number 6 is theirs, and they have won the majority of defenses. That's the hard part. Now should come the easy part.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it translates. Obviously, as I said, these guys were thriving on saying we're going to come to this competition with a fire. No one's really knows what we can bring. As you said, they qualified off their own backs. It's not about the label that they carry, but it's them carrying the label. And hey, they're doing very well so far against a pretty old familiar team here in Instinct. Sophia, IQ, Jackal, Ash, and Kappa Tau are going to be going up against this Blue Bar and Sunrise.
There have definitely been mistakes coming out from both teams, and I think that tends to be how Siege Comp goes. It tends to be whatever team makes more mistakes, and if the other team can capitalize on those mistakes, right? But Deathrow have had a pretty good ability to read their teammates and read the enemy and see exactly what they're going to be doing, what kind of take they want to do, and I still want to point out that Lion and Strong consistently have been able to just push on these weaknesses and go for the peaks when they know no one's going to be peeking them. They're taking those easy gunfights.
Oh, yeah. Some of the stuff that they've been pulling off has been... I just really enjoy the way that they're moving around this map and the way that these guys are using communication, using information, and just using how they can use it. It's the most stupid sentence I could possibly say at this point, but they're just usage of this game surface and the operators. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this Deathrow. But we will see, obviously, 4-2. The defenders are on a little bit of a harder foot here. Some nice, interesting Maestro puts down there. We saw a pretty heavy Maestro usage previously, and obviously blasting it in terms of information and going for those zaps and getting those precious assists. But obviously, can they find a sturdy defense Instinct?
There are a couple of things I just want to point out already. That some of the drone game was kind of weird there from Deathrow, but we'll see how the rest of it starts to go through, and we'll see where the rest of the pre-police zones are going to be starting to push through. But Deathrow looking very, very slow already in taking their attack, but there's nothing wrong with that. Be slow, be methodical, making sure that you're not going to get peeked at from anywhere, but doing a full roam clear of Coast is not going to end well for you in terms of time management.
No, there's so much possibility for rotation. You can cut across corner to corner of this map in under 15 seconds. A clever roamer can just play with the attackers if they wanted to. They don't have to. And, you know, a good team can shut down rotations. But again, as you said, it does take a lot of time. There's so many quick escapes and quick turnarounds. Great IQ work here from Shinro, by the way. And we're watching it, clearing a lot of those close downs inside, which they can. Not 100% sure they managed to catch anything like an Echo drone yet, but they have definitely caught some things.
They've definitely caught some things indeed. Deathrow have caught quite a lot of utility there on the site, and they've also got quite a lot of vertical play now. But this is pretty good coming out from Instinct. That's they're playing it mostly from kitchen side, but there we go. The Jaeger gonna try and get aggressive with it, but instantly shut down with this patient play coming out from Deathrow. But now the time is starting to tick down, and now they need to start thinking about pushing onto the site. but they have the Capitao. They have a great bit of utility they can push down. Ponef is going to get destroyed here if he continues to play behind Sunrise Bar.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places to put in, and you kind of see how these guys can move out of sticky situations. A lot of the time, the creativity in that is what makes a great game sense player, but it's a very, very sticky situation, and that was a hell of a kill there. Frey pushing against T-Zoomed with a beautiful take.
Lion is going to be pushing out onto the kitchen window here. The flashbangs are going to go out, and Frey gets full flash. That's not good. And Lion pushes all the way onto the kitchen service entrance door to see what he can do here. He'll be able to open it up, and they'll just be pushing out all of these roamers and see exactly they can push onto the site. But the time's running out of time. 20 seconds to go. This utility needs to start going down. The smokes are going to go down from the Jackal, and Strong just be holding down onto Blue. But no, Ponef is going to shut it all down. He takes down Shinro. And that's not looking too good. Ponef takes yet another one off the board. Strong with a double kill to try and make it through. But Ponef with yet another kill. Lion takes down Liz Wade. But it's not enough. And Instinct, hold on. Round number 7 is theirs.
Wow. Although, obviously, we've seen stuff come down to tricky situations. That is the first time today we have seen a round tick out due to time. So far, it's always been frags. There's a little fun factoid for you guys in chat. 3, 4. A little bit too slow from Deathrow.
Just a little bit too slow indeed. That is very unfortunate, but I said it from the start that they were wasting quite a lot of time going for their roam clear, and even when they got control, they weren't really doing much with it. They got the utility off the board, right? And we saw the IQ going above and just doing what they could, but yeah, it just wasn't going too good for them. Ponef, with a very impressive 13 for 5 so far, is keeping his team in this single-handedly.
Oh yeah, he is very much he's the heart and the soul of this team. And to be fair, you know, obviously we've again talked about his history and his caliber. He can be that kind of player. Siege is a team-based game, but having a good idea, having a good talisman for your team can do you wonders. But we can already see, obviously, they're going for a pretty standard setup and hold of this point. Obviously, with the mirror off the table, your sight lines and angles have to be a little bit creative. The mute against the wall, the Maestro dug inside VIP as well is quite a nice, interesting idea. But that is to cover that wall there, the wall of billiards and bar.
Yeah, it is to cover that wall of billiards, and you know it's good to have control of that entire area to just stop the pushes coming in that way. But there's no hard breacher from Deathrow.
No, there is not. And we talk about bringing new ideas and strategies. And to be fair, this isn't massively a point you relatively need a hard breacher, but they've inadvertently just put down coverage against something that will not come.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, most points on Coastline you don't really need a hard breacher, but I'd say it's at least good to consider one, especially on this site. Just because of that, you can open up Courtyard, right? You can open up the wall there with the Habana. You can open up a VIP wall if you decide to reinforce that. And, you know, there's just a lot of options you can do here that are open to you if you do bring in a hard breacher. But there's none of that today. And it's going to be interesting from Deathrow how they decide to capitalize on it instead.
You can see the speed at which they are trying to clear the other side. You said it's a hard clear to get on Coastline because there's so much to it. Crest built at the bottom of the staircase as T-Zoom just goes, hold down there for a minute, I'm claymoring this. The explosions coming from Strong. They're trying to put a little bit more haste into this clear. They are aware that that is what cost them the previous round. At least it was a factor, and they are trying to capitalize on that as Lion finds a mission.
Yeah, looking very good indeed. Lion again getting so many of these important early frags, and then we go to already a 5v4. Smoke going down so early on, that is not good, but Frey is going to trade it right on back to Strong. That's the Ash already off the board. It's not a good utility pick, but it is a pick nonetheless, and we're going to see how that goes down. And 4v4 already. It's not looking too good for the defenders, as yet another one of them will fall. Cresp does manage to fall here, and the IQ still trying to do a little bit of work here to try and take those mute jammers off the board. Liz Wade, however, will take down C-Summed, and that's moving into a 3v3. Deathrow starting to fall apart at the seams right now. This is looking pretty defender-sided at the moment.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate drop, obviously. Lion finds another one. Lion, who is one of the players who's really been a big part of Deathrow's presence in this game, alongside Strong. The two of them have set that pace. Liz Wired, however, is slowing them right down, cutting off the claws of Lion and stopping him dead. 20 seconds, 2 versus 2, and you're against an Echo and a Maestro on Plant. What can you bring out the bag?
Yeah, Lisbeth just going to be holding it all down onto the doorway here. Smokes are going to go out here from the Jackal, but it's not going to be enough. Lisbeth takes down Shinro, sorry. And yeah, Pernef will finish it off all the way from Cool Vibes from the Rotate Instinct, take round number 8. And this has been surprisingly defender-sided.
4-4. 4-4 defenders leading on a map that is the only statistical aggressive attacker favored map. Anything can happen in CCS, guys. Always tune in. But Penthouse Theater, we rotate to pretty quick lock-ins here for Deathwish or Deathrow even.
Deathrow with the Death Wish, definitely.
Deathrow with the Death Wish, because so far it's not happening for them with this lineup. So far, they're not finding a way to make it work against this defense.
No, they haven't been able to make it work. And I think a lot of it, again, as I said, is they've been wasting a lot of time with heavy drones and coming through. But need to locate. I don't know. There's also a lot of things that, Instinct to be doing very, very right here. And we made this big point in the first round and the first half as well about defenders need to be getting aggressive and need to have that info to back them up. And Instinct haven't been doing just that. They've been keeping the scoreboard even. Anytime they've lost a man, they've taken a man back, or vice versa. And it's still been going pretty consistent for them. They made good utility usage. They have good info. They're playing the defense very smart.
Yeah, totally. You just you see it how it's rotating. We talked about PUNF kind of being a talisman in terms of frags and stuff, but as I said, that it's just smart. It's cover. It's utilization of what you can bring to your defense, and it's working very well for them here.
It has been working very well for them here indeed. Let's move through into round number 9 and see exactly how it is going to go through. As Deathrow still looking to find some attack rounds on the board here. It's not looking too good for them otherwise.
But they're putting pressure against that DJ balcony now. Strong is looking to find a way a little bit closer inside. As we said, Strong has been playing a pretty exceptional game so far. You can hear a lot of soft destructions going off. We talk about that rotation hole behind the bomb being a safe place to move, and it is working out so far for them. 2 minutes, all the time in the world. They're still just prodding and testing the waters. Buck is above, and he is looking down upon you. You better hide, as he is thirsty to find a way to stop you with that skeleton key. A lot of vertical being opened up. That is going to make them much more skittish. You can see all of them looking up to try to get a very important possible pick. But Strong has already moved off. He's going to start digging inside above the kitchen bomb point instead.
Oh, but Strong will actually be able to pick up a kill there through the vertical plane. There we go. Amishin is going to go down already, a 5v4. And more importantly, that's the smoke off the board. That is a big utility pick for these hackers here.
Yeah, that is losing your smoke with so much time left and all of his utility. It hurts any team, but you can still see they're going to try and hold on. Crestblix is looking for that little bit of aggression against the entrance to Sunrise. Lion is just going to roll in and amongst bullets, holding the close angle, almost gets some into Jaeger there and does through the wall with some beautiful measured shooting. 3-5. Wow. 2-5, 2-4. The kills keep coming. Sanshiro and gets 1, and Strong is off the board to Liz Wade, but you can see that another is gone.
Looking very good indeed. It's going to be Frey left alone in a 1v3. He's going to go for the pre-fight. Does pick up the Zofia, and Shinro is going to get revived and reset here. 40 seconds left to go on the clock. Deathrow do not have control of the diffuser. Frey should be aware of this. He does have the nitro in hand, but what a shot from Lion through the box. Takes him down. Deathrow finally finding their round on attack. take round number 9. So now moving through into round number 10, Deathrow. This is theirs to win now. Just a couple of rounds away from bringing this in. As I said, this is attacker-sided statistically. This game is not attacker-sided.
No sense of the word. These guys, they're showing up on their defense, and obviously that was the first attacker round to win out of this second half, but it wasn't the most convincing.
No, it was not the most convincing indeed. We are going to see a blue bar, sunrise bar, defense coming out. I still feel like the Deathrow maybe don't have too much of an idea about how they will actually want to attack Coastline. Maybe both teams didn't really, because they were bringing all the right stuff. Sometimes just not using it fully effectively. Sometimes I think a lot of teams concentrate too much on vertical play, that they think they just open it up, they will just get kills from it, but that's not really how it works. You gotta open it up, you hold down the rotates, and then everyone else has to push to force rotates to happen, or else getting vertical play doesn't really mean anything. But see, a lot of teams waste a lot of time trying to get picks through vertical play. Thankfully, that time Deathrow did pick up kills through vertical play, but it seems like both of these teams are maybe a little bit over-relying on it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you kind of need to have a bit of control, and there are points, as you said, on this where vertical play can be pretty make or break. But at the same time, if you throw all of your hopes and your dreams behind getting those picks from there, you've got to be ready for a plan B. That is the difference between the best teams in the world and the worst. Jaeger, that was a bold attempt. No one's denying that.
It was bold, maybe a little stupid, but he will not go down for it. And, I mean, this is the big point we made about joystick playing on the Jaeger as well earlier, is that if you lose your Jaeger, it's really not a big deal. I mean, he's already put his utility down, right? In comp, you tend to play for utility, not frags.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's still fine if the Jaeger dies, honestly, even if it puts you in a 5v4. That's why Jaeger can do things like that and get away with it. Why he can be aggressive, why he can win those gunfights, is more about confidence than anything.
Hey, he dies. But Maestro is holding in office there. The drone is watching from Shinro. They are putting pressure against Liz Wade. They want to shut down what could be a very big pick here. Liz Wade is not going so easily, though, firing against with the Alder. The smoke score on the other side. Lion, again, been a great player, pushes through the damage. Gets a great pickup, but Shinro finds the other side of it. Great trades in cover. T-Sumed finds Crestbilks as well. And that was some brilliant push there from Deathrow.
Deathrow, now off of that brilliant push, as you mentioned, have now got a lot of control, and that's given them a lot of breathing room as well. The Maestro and the Jaeger both off the board has now put them in a great position, but having lost that Capital for it, they've lost a huge amount of utility themselves. They're going to have to try and make it up for it a little bit, using the Habana, and maybe looking at a little bit more vertical play, using the Book, and potentially the Zofia as well, as Zofia will make her way into the kitchen and takes down Frey. That's going to be surprising for the Mutiny. He really cooked up something there, as it will turn into a 2v4, 1v4 now, as Emision will go down. Not looking too good at all for the Echo. Left remaining, 1 minute left to go on the clock. Ponef still holding it all down. He is the star player for Team Instinct. Will be trying to bring it through in a 1v4 clutch situation. He still has control of the site quite a lot, as windows will start to get opened up. He will return fire. He will get droned out. They know his position. Deathrow just have to play this smart. The Sophia charges are going to come through, but he actually gets down from it. But it's going to be Shinka who peeks from the other window. Will take him down. Deathrow take round number 10.
So the 6-4 situation. Now, Deathrow are really kind of setting themselves up here for a great opening match point. How will this translate?
Yeah, we'll see how it is going to go down as we do move through match point for Deathrow. As I said, very defender-sided. Very attacker-sided. But this game has been fairly defender-sided. So it's interesting to see what's been happening so far. Deathrow definitely have brought it up a little more. And I still think it's going to be more about the physical play that's been going on. Has been a little bit more improved with how they've actually executed it. rather than relying on it, they're taking it, using it, pushing it, and that's going to be going much better for them.
But obviously 6-4, it's always a little bit of a tricky spot to be in. These guys have been back and forth this entire game. It's still anyone's to fight for, but maybe one of the teams has an easier fight here as the attackers on this map, and 2 rounds up, but we'll have to see how that translates.
Yeah, we will have to see how that translates indeed, as yeah, still looking pretty good for Deathrow though. I mean, you've got to think about Instinct's situation here. Their defense hasn't been great. This particular site is pretty hard to hold on to. And the fact that there's just been complete domination by Deathrow so far on the last couple of attacks, that it's not looking too good for a retake here.
No, yeah, I mean, I talk about how it's anyone's to play for because it's been back and forth, but yeah, you're right, momentum. It is important. It is pretty much a mentality setting here, but we can see that Lion is looking for those early picks. Deathrow is rolling in this aggression. They are rolling in the possibility, and we said the round that they lost was because they were too slow. Well, they have changed their pace, and they are utilizing it very, very well, I say, as Liz Wade, who has definitely been a big thorn in their side on that Maestro, takes care of the opening frag against the Buck.
And that is a big pick as well, because we've been talking a lot about vertical play coming out from Deathrow as being maybe not so much more reliant lately, but it has been a big part of their battle plan. And yeah, he's off the board immediately. That is a really huge utility pick coming out, and that's looking pretty much better for Team Instinct here.
Now, T-Soond is waiting for those entry picks. Crestplix is just going to rotate out of there, survive for as long as possible, which is definitely the right move. We've said about the rotation possibility of this map, utilizing that central courtyard to get out of danger and get to a fresh location, force them to waste time, and it's the worst corner to be in, but you're still alive, you're still in a corner, and if you get lucky, you could pull off a Zafia. She would have to do everything to throw this away. And there it is.
Beautiful. Little bit of an angle there from T-Soond. He will manage to take down the Jaeger. Not a big utility pick, but a pick nonetheless, as he will start to move through. IQ from below again. Just trying to get whatever gadgets she can here exactly. Deathrow are starting to run out of time, however. They've still got plenty of utility left on the board, including the Capitao. Capitao has been a big factor for a lot of attacks coming through this season. We'll see how the rest of it does start to go through. Here's the Maestro Cam, not too good about droning out VIP there just yet. And as we will see from below, IQ still doing a decent amount of work, but gotta get a move on. It is 40 seconds, let's go on the clock.
Now, here comes the pressure that we were waiting for. T-Soond, who is having an exceptional round, finds Frey. They are really setting the tone. That wall where we commented, why don't you have a hard destruction? Well, here it is. They have answered your prayers, and it is working. Lion finds a mission 2 versus 4 on this defense. Liz Wade and PooNF. Liz Wade finds one. PooNF finds another. 2 versus 2. Beautiful, brilliant picks there to pull it back. Sinchino and Shinka, though, lock it off. Map 1 goes to Deathrow.
Very well played from Deathrow, especially in that second half, to just realize what they were doing wrong in those attacks, bring it in, tear it apart, and tear it up. They got it on. They did it well. They deserved the victory for that map. They will take it 7-4. Very well played indeed. Not looking too good at all for Team Instinct there.
Now, on next map, well, we'll say actually about the scoreboard. Look at that. Lion 16-8 and PooNF 15-8. And then others throwing big numbers, 10s and 12s. That was some great frag roll leadership there.
Yeah, some pretty good frag roll leadership indeed. But in just a few moments, we are going to be going to our next map of Clubhouse. It is going to be, I don't know, like, it's interesting because we come from an attacker-sided map, the only attacker-sided map, to what is undoubtedly one of the most defender-sided maps in the game. We did say unnamed just previously, get a couple of rounds on the attack against Empire, but then Empire just gave them no quarter after that. But with the way that these teams are played, Do you think we're going to see a similar pattern?
I mean, I'm kind of excited, obviously, to think what we've kind of seen is Deathrow are really working the information. They're trying new strategies and they're pushing aggressively, which I think played very well. But at the same time, when obviously they were defending, it was pretty locked down, a lot of what they were doing. It was very impressive. I think at this point, if they play how they did on this map on Clubhouse, I would be surprised if they dropped it. However, Instinct, they're a good team. They're a team that can get frags. They need to find a little bit more confidence in their team play. We saw towards the end, obviously, PUNF was pretty solid throughout the entire set of the match. But Amizian had moments, Lizwade had moments, Crespix and Frey, they both had these moments. They just need to find a way to properly spark that fire.
Yeah, so... yeah, it's looked pretty good across the board for both teams. As you said, Deathrow looking to prove themselves here. They have done so far already, one map away from bringing in the series. Don't forget, this is a best of 2. It is a single round robin. This may be the only time that these two teams meet.
Yeah, well, we will see how important it is for these guys and how much Instinct can just find a little bit of fire. Now, obviously, what I'm quite curious about, because one of the things that we've come to a couple times about this is how unknown Deathrow's team and strategies are and have been. I'm thinking whether this operator ban phase might have a little bit more thought put into it from these guys. I think there'll be a lot of discussion about what they can change.
I think what I always love about when it comes to operator bans is it's more about player specific or team specific bans rather than just talking about maps and what you just don't want to play against. But we are just about ready to get into Clubhouse now. It's going to be Instinct versus Deathrow. Map number 2 is going to be our final map for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. It's Siege time.
I gotta love Siege time. It's my favorite time on my Ubisoft branded clock. But we will jump into this now. But I think they're just waiting for one more player to get back. I talked about Siege time. Apparently, we're a bit too early for Siege time. We're like an early train for Siege time that unfortunately showed up at the station. But now we are leaving the station for real this time. No more lies, guys. Let's get into map 2 of Clubhouse.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be Instinct versus Deathrow here. CCS Season 4 Europe. Don't forget, I'm your caster, James Sterner Parkinson. I'm joined by the beautiful William Fluke Donaldson. Let's get right into this. Good luck, have fun to both teams. What do we think about operator bans?
Well, obviously, Glaz was taken out of the previous one by Deathrow as a first ban, and Instinct went against Dokkaebi, and, I wouldn't be surprised if they banned Dokkaebi. As we said, they're taking a lot of time to discuss it. They're thinking about it this time. They know how important this map is, but again, she's a big operator, and if you don't like going against her, you won't want to. But no, Hibana is taken out of the equation. Yeah,
Hibana's been taken out of the equation. I wouldn't say that's too surprising. Hibana's a fairly common ban here for Clubhouse. I'd say Hibana and Maverick are two of the most common attacker bans that we see specifically for Clubhouse when you just don't look at overall bans. So I'm not too surprised by that, and that's because I think going to make the downstairs defense much, much easier. I'm wondering what the next ban is. I'm kind of expecting the Maverick ban here.
They're the attackers. This is their 5 rounds that they're going to need as much as they want. But no, they really do not want to go up against the Glaz.
Again, this may be a team-specific thing. That maybe they know that Instinct, like a little bit of Glaz in their lineup. But I think more than likely, yeah, it is more about they just do not want to play against that operator whatsoever. We'll see how it goes down. We'll see the first defense bans out. Now, the last time we saw Clubhouse, we did see a mirror ban. I still don't think it's a huge ban here, but yeah, it is going to be picked yet again. I just don't feel there's enough places for mirror to really be hugely useful here.
No, I completely agree with you. I think there's more operators that can have a deciding factor, and there is one of them who was not banned the last time we were in Clubhouse, but also was not used. And you think there are some points here, especially in Garage, she can lock that down.
Yeah, she can definitely lock that down. Indeed, we are going to see a Church Arsenal room defense to start with, as expected. It's going to be Team Instinct to start out on the defense.
Now, Echo, Bandit, Pulse, Maestro, Smoke. We talked about, obviously, there's guys' use and utilization of information. Valkyrie has actually swapped out instead of Echo, but obviously there's still the possibility of 6th picks against Sophia, Thatcher, Thermite, Buck, and Ash.
That was also a lot of C4s until the 6th pick came through there from Cresp. He'll 6th pick onto the Jaeger here, and we'll see exactly how that's going to work out for him. Jaeger, just a really good operator all around. I mean, key to pretty much every single defense. Requires the attackers to waste a lot of utility to just get those ADSs off the board before they go for their execute smokes and the search. We'll see how the rest of this goes through as round number 1 gets underway, and we'll see how the hatches get reinforced. We saw Empire and to a certain extent Unnamed play this site very, very aggressively. What do you think these teams are going to do?
I kind of want a bit of aggression. I want to, like, I know I've commented before that this map doesn't really require you to roam or this point especially doesn't really require you to roam because it's so wide and so flat, but at the same time, some of these guys have been blowing up this game, and I think for Instinct, I think it would be good for them to find some aggression under their feet. I think they were sitting a little bit comfortably. They're kind of relying on playbooks and stuff like that, whereas, I don't know, Deathrow, you're getting a bit more kind of fire, a bit more pepper, so hey, who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. We'll see how the rest of this round starts to work out as the drones and the roam clear starts to come through. And we'll see how this starts to go down. We talk about Clubhouse a little bit, about how it's defender-sided. How true do you think that really is?
Okay, I mean, obviously, the whole idea of a map being defender-sided, it does rely on teams knowing kind of set defenses, because we go by statistics, and yeah, you scrim, you practice, you learn, but then being a bit creative can really adapt your how you approach it, how you close down, how you move. Obviously, we're seeing C4s and tears and the bits that we can see it in, but I guess as a map, yes and no. Yes, it can be defensive, but as soon as you kind of close it down, that's where it shuts down.
Yeah, definitely. So moving further into round number 1, I think we're having a few technical issues here. It looks like we'll try and get those resolved as soon as possible for you guys, as we'll see the rest of the push starting to come through as quickly as it can. Lots of drones coming through, of course, as the Thermites will go down. Of course, no Hibana. And that is definitely going to make that a lot harder to push down into that bottom area. You got to choose your hatches very specifically.
Yeah, that's obviously the thing about the ban of Hibana on this map. That is where it matters. And as you've mentioned, the ban of Maverick it forces choice. It forces choice to attackers, because there's certain things you can prepare for and certain things you can't in your strat book. And sometimes it can really throw that strat book out the window.
Yeah. So you got to have to choose very carefully, but it looks like they have chosen to open up the stock and the moto hatch. That is definitely suggesting a church taking. See double entry frag coming through there from Deathrow, but returns will start to come through, and we'll see a 2v4 situation developing. Long angles being held here by Mijim. The plan is going to start to go down into the back of church. This is looking so good as an execute for Deathrow. The proof has coming through from Lion, and he will be able to get the kill onto Mijin. And Frey is going to try and rotate. He's in a 1v4 clutch situation, but no, the nade from Strong will find him. Deathrow take round number 1. Very, very well played. In a very bad situation, they made the best of it.
Yeah, it would be. Well, you know, we talk about what these guys can pull off, and hopefully we'll be able to see it a little bit smoother. But these guys are going to keep playing on. Know that these guys, they're having an uninterrupted system. It is unfortunately just on our end, but based on the previous map, we are going to take about a 2-minute break and wait for our clean feed to get sorted. But at the same time, what I think we'll be kind of having to reflect on now is what these teams can change between the previous map and this map, because that is obviously what they're going to be thinking about.
Yeah, overall, that Deathrow have had a pretty good run of things so far. They've definitely warmed up going into this. They've made better use of their utility, and I think they did a lot better on defense than they did on attack. Most of the time, though, attack is hard to win, right? Like, you're going against what your enemy is doing rather than having them trying to react to what you're doing. That can be very hard to do against. It can be very hard to plan around, very dependent on what the lineup from your other team is if you want to try and plan it, unless you're playing kind of like default strats. And I feel like Deathrow kind of playing a little bit default has their own twist on it, but at the same time, it is kind of default. There's nothing wrong with that. We've already seen Empire do that, and we saw Name do that a little bit as well. They've done perfectly fine with it. And it can be one of those, their default strats for a reason, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of it also, like, running default can go a lot of how much your team embraces it. Because if your team has got a bit of energy about it, about running the default, obviously I think what you could say about teams like Empire is when they do run default, they get very energetic with it. They get very kind of controlling. They're happy to move and run and push and utilize as much space as they can within that default strategy. And I think that's what we're seeing from Deathrow. I think when they are running these defaults, even with their little twists, they're bringing a lot of fire to it. They're bringing a lot of energy to it. And that can translate well across attack, defense. Have some energy about your play, and it translates.
Yeah, it definitely does translate indeed. Having that energy, having that high energy momentum, just pushing all the way in and getting the kills where you can. It can work out for you, right? And just playing aggressively. Deathrow have definitely been able to do that. Particularly Strong and Lion have been able to do that. And so far, it's worked out for Deathrow. Instincts, however, have been failing to react to that kind of defense. They did pretty well for themselves on attack for the first couple of rounds. But again, from both of them, I think that the drone economy wasn't amazing.
Yeah, I know you commented on it before. Obviously, the balance of drones, where you can put them and how well you can put them there, often becomes a little bit of a point of it can tie a team together. Good drone coverage, they're your cameras. And I think the original kind of idea of what is the difference between top pro players, or what is the difference between general pro players and then standard kind of players, is their utilization of drones. I think is one of those early learning steps. But never forget the basics. The basics are what run this game.
Yeah, that is very true indeed. We'll see how it is going to go through, as it looks like our issues should be resolved shortly. And we should be able to get back into this in just a few moments. Deathrow have been looking very, very good on these attacks so far, despite the fact that Abalathan maybe would throw off a few teams.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about having a plan A and a plan B, and that often is the difference. Having her on the board and having her not on the board. If you've got to suddenly roll to this Thermite, which has a much more slow and direct push in, that's how it goes.
Attackers need to protect it.
Yeah, how it goes indeed. But it looks like round number 2, we just missed it. The diffuser was planted successfully, but it will be diffused just as easily. Team Instinct will take round number 2.
Yeah, and we can only obviously apologize for the break up in the coverage. Sometimes this stuff is out of any of our control, but hey, the game's still running. It's 1-1. Hey, we're still here. We're still here in casting. You just had a little bit of a radio play. But CCTV and Cash Room is our next go-to spot. And this was a point that we talked about a fair bit earlier, because since the revamp, it's become very popular.
Yeah, it has been very popular. We talked a little bit as well. We had Clubhouse earlier, and we were talking about the roam game right on Clubhouse. And it is very, very possible on a downstairs defense. But of course, that downstairs defense finally successful. Team Instinct, they will opt to go upstairs instead. Little bit surprised from Deathrow that they're not bringing the Maverick here.
Yeah, we talked about when Maverick can work well on a point. And he's a great operator for shutting down against bandits and stuff like that. But this is a point where they're going to be banditing, and what wall they're going to be going up against it. And it's an important wall to get hold of. It wouldn't be a bad decision to bring him.
Yeah, but I mean, on top of that, they have the book, right? They have the sledge, they have the Zofia. There's plenty of soft destruction to go around here. They can nade it from below, they can Zofia it from below. Getting this bandit off the wall is not going to be an issue. I feel like everything else is going to be the issue, right? Yeah. Getting the east wall open is just the first step in there. And, it kind of just depends on what your strategy is, right? But a lot of this lineup just screams to me that they really want that east wall open. Feels to me they could do that a lot quicker than with a Maverick.
Yeah, obviously the nice Maestro placement, and they're putting the Echo on the light as well, beautifully hidden amongst those pipes. There's one few Echo mains out there, but the pressure is going to come straight against that garage, and that east wall, as you said, it's so important. We've seen 2 people get dropped through that drone hole, so that's a pretty smart one to peek through. Jaeger, Cresplex looking for an initial firefight, just going to pull out of the staircase, put down the ADSs at the top of a very vital stair to hold, and then leave them. Quite lucky that they didn't get caught out in too sticky a situation there.
Yeah, it would be good indeed. And there you go. See, Buck is going to be opening up the bottom floor here just a little bit and cutting off the rotates from below. A big escalation from vertical play on both of these teams right now. As Deathrow are going to be opening up the very bottom here of the cash room and seeing exactly what they can do about all of that. Strong is going to rotate all the way upstairs. You can see that it is reinforced this wall, but surely not for long. As the EMPs are going to come out, and surely we'll be able to get on here.
See, Strong is dropping close to the opposite side of that wall alongside Zofia. They are hunting for that bandit. There is the charge. They are going for the plant. They're going for the grenade, and it was a perfect cook there. Strong against Frey.
Frey really should have seen that coming, though. The ADS got burned instantly. He should have seen the name was coming here, and the beautiful Kobe coming out from Strong, and he will open up logistics hatch to celebrate. That's already the battle off the board, and that east wall getting opened up so early on. Beautifully played coming out of him.
That was some absolutely gorgeous use of the team utility, and you said, hey, there's many ways to take care of a bandit. That is one of them.
Yeah, definitely well played, but Ponef with a beautiful angle all the way from downtown will manage to eliminate the sledge. That's a pretty good pick because that's nades off the table, considering the ADSs are burned. It's pretty good from them so far. Team 7 will be pushing through into construction. And a really nice angle here from Sin. Shinro will find the head. It's a beautiful kill onto the Jaeger then. That's a 3v4. Now they have the man advantage. Now they can start pushing onto the side. But it's only 40 seconds left to go on the clock. They're really going to have to be very quick about it. The go construction wall will get successfully opened up by the Thermite. They will try and push into the site. The Thermite does have the diffuser in hand. And I'm wondering if you'd be able to push all the way through here. Kind of have to need it with Ponef right here. And he's going to be able to get on his Echo drones to see exactly what the situation is. And T-Sims will be peeking out fairly aggressively. Smokes will start to go down as the push starts to come through. And Buck is still doing vertical play work from below. But oh, the diffuser just gets all the way in. Thermite's all the way in and he goes down. No, he doesn't. And there's just going to be a flurry of refrags coming through. There we go. Thermite does go down. The diffuser cannot go down. Instincting, round number 3.
Wow, they got in, they were going, and that was a lot of Hail Mary spray and spray through soft walls there to get the pick, and they got it, they pulled it off. You talk about information and what they were kind of struggling with, but hey, they're doing it on this map. They're 2-1 up. Instinct are setting up themselves in a much better position than they were in the previous map. At the same time, Deathrow, can't count them out yet. We've seen them work well as a team, and we've seen them work well against adversity.
Yeah, not only that, but, Clubhouse, very, very defender-sided map. Both of these teams have done very, very well on defense on top of that. And on top of that, you have a Habana man, and that is always just going to throw a stick in the works, because, especially on this map, we got the hatches, right, when we had the downstairs defense, but we also, on that particular take, can't open the garage wall really that effectively to stop a rotate from the top of the garage back into
Defenders,
sight.
protect your bombs
That is going to
and
affect your garage
by
take.
attackers.
That's probably going to force you to do construction, and from there, it kind of just falls apart fairly quickly. So, and on top of that, no glass either, and that's going to affect it. I'm still really surprised we haven't seen a shield.
Especially against a point like this. I guess you never really know it's going to be a point like this, but Jacuzzi push.
It's just the fact that there's no lesion, right, from the defense. We've never seen a lesion. Montaigne would be the easiest thing in the world to take control of the garage stairs, push all the way up.
Left before
Yep.
insertion.
Hey, sometimes people rely too heavily on default. Sometimes.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm saying, right? This is the problem with just playing default and just trying to learn what your team is doing, what their team is doing, is that it becomes hard to adapt to strategy.
Totally. Lion, Ash, a little bit of pace. Obviously, Lion was one of those fraggers from the previous map that really just blew up inside Coastline, moving through Strip. Not always strange to see people not take out the speakers, but I guess when you're an attacker, it's a little bit different.
Maybe he just wants to listen to the music.
Hey, it's some nice music.
It is some nice music. It makes you in the mood to dance. Thatchers are going to go down to Jacuzzi. However, they really need to get the Jacuzzi wall open if they want to get control over the site. I'm interested. I don't think bathroom wall is open. I don't think it would be open, just because of the fact they don't have like a mirror or anything like that. And there we go. Jacuzzi wall will get easily opened up. And yeah, bathroom is reinforced. So that's still a pretty good position, though, for the Smokes to be playing. And that Maestro, I feel, is in a way too aggressive position there because of the logistics hatch.
Yeah, you've got to be bold to be, especially when you're Maestro. You are so good to be kept alive. Those cams can be utilized so well. It's not the worst one to lose mid-round, but putting yourself in a position where you might be a first point of contact from a very frequently used push point, there are better places to be. The second thermite charge and the second hard destruction is gonna open Jacuzzi, though. They're going for a full Jacuzzi wall open.
Yeah. I mean, this is good, right? Because you can hold the angle and you can send somebody to just run into GM and plant. That seems to be the plan here. But the problem is that that bathroom wall is now slightly opened. I realized it wasn't actually reinforced. And that is going to allow frags to start coming down. The Maestro actually peeks onto the logistics hatch. And he somehow wins the fight against the book. He's going to go down. And there we go. See some being very, very concerned about this slightly open wall onto the bathroom there. And the Echo drone is going to be repositioned here to stop the plane going down into GM. But the Echo himself going to be very, very lit up. And Liz Wade also going to be very lit up from logistics hatch. But this is all very, very patient. 45 seconds left to go. Flag Watch drones will go down. But it's going to be Emision who does get the first kill of that area. And it's not looking too good at all for Deathrow. They're being very, very slow with this. They need to get into the site and start planting. But they have basically zero control. Lion pushing through all the way into the hallway, just going for the pre-fires where he can, seeing if he can just pick out anyone. But it's going to be Frey who picks out Lion, and Liswick finds a kill of their own. T-Summed is the last one remaining on the table. The bandit will go down, but the repeat does come through. Crest takes him down. Instinct take round number 4.
That was some pretty good play there from Instinct. They lost the first round, which unfortunately we didn't see, but their comeback is coming through here. 3 rounds in a row, and their control is looking better and better. They are getting very good shutdowns on Deathrow's entrance into this building.
There's been some pretty good defenses coming up from Instinct so far. We saw it already on Coastline. They seem to be pretty coordinated on defense. They make good use of their utility most of the time. Potentially some Echo drones should have been good as well, but there's been a big concentration on them from about info, right? That they're taking like Valkyrie and Maestro and Echo. That they're concentrating on operators that give you a lot of intel.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're utilizing it now. Obviously, we've commented there was a couple of deaths and moments in the first map where they were just not really communicating movements. They weren't really pointing out what was going on and where they were being picked from, and it kind of cost them on those refrags and those retakes. But this time, they're much more comfortable on this map. They seem to have a better control. They know what the play is and the motion of play, and they're reacting to it very, very well, which Deathrow are kind of struggling to balance against that.
Yeah, they have been struggling against that indeed. Maybe that story will change when they move through into the defense of their own, but for now, they'll be stuck on the attack. And again, attacking this basement without Habana is going to leave your choices severely limited.
Yeah, obviously we spoke about utility usage and the kind of economy of your push, and there is no more so than the balance of how you're going to use those charges against those hatches, because there's three that are arguably important if we're just discussing hatches. At the same time, there's tunnel, there's dirt tunnel as a possibility of push. There's a lot you've got to weigh up here, and that is down to Deathrow.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of this does go down as we move into round number 5. It's going to be the penultimate round. Don't forget, we are playing on the new Pro League rules, which means that it is 6 rounds until we have a rule swap rather than 5. So we'll see how that is going to be going down. As Jones coming out from Deathrow, trying to secure that early control. The last time that they attacked this successfully, they opened a motor hatch, and I believe they opened up stock hatch as well. And they had this really nice blue take. I'm wondering if they can try and replicate this again.
Well, Liz Wade opens up the fragging against Assumed. That is a pretty nice start for them. You can feel the pressure coming from that buck above. And we've talked about the reliance on the utility, but just look at how much of that they have opened up. They are wanting to find a firefight through that roof, and Amesian has had to fall back slightly as Lion slowly creeps his way up through oil pit along that blue long corridor. Liz Wade, who has had a pretty solid couple of rounds and couple of games on Stat Maestro, is ready for the firefight, but it is Strong who drops the team captain of Puanef.
Strong again, just keeping on those insanely strong frags, as well as Lion as well getting that nice entry. And now it's a 3v4. But the Valkyrie and the Jaeger, while picks, not huge picks, you really want the smoke to be, or the mash to be going down right now. But always going to be the book that goes down as he tries to throw the nade outside of dirt. And just his dreams get dashed immediately. The smoke is still here. Could actually throw a smoke canister and just deny that push entirely. But let's see how it is going to start going through. 45 seconds left to go on the clock.
Strong is back up. You can see Lion exceptionally low health on the other side, so they don't have time to go for the double reset, unfortunately. Just getting Buck back up. Sin Shinro playing inside blue utility, looking for the frag, but Frey with a pretty clean pick against the Buck there. Lion is watching the blue hatch from above. We've already talked about the hatch utility. There goes a babe, but it pokes off after they get a beautiful kill against Shinka with the diffuser down, and 10 seconds left. Lion pushing hard, gets a double. No! Somehow doesn't lock that down. There was a kill in the smoke.
I mean, either way, even if he had got that kill, he didn't have enough time to get the other one. So, I'm not sure. Like, he pushes in, kind of a potato from Lion. It's kind of upsetting. It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. 4-1. One more defense round for Instinct, but they are not letting up at the minute.
Not letting up. It's going to be the final round for Instinct on the defense. We're going to see if this is truly defender-sided, right? Or if it is just Instinct are just playing better. So far, their defense has been pretty tight. They've been pretty good so far. I think they've done well to kind of bait Deathrow into pushing a certain way, and then just collapsing on it with a lot of utility. So we'll see how the rest of these rounds do go through. I am very interested to see how CC room goes down as well.
Yeah, obviously this is the point that we've talked about, a point of contention, but that is 4 rounds in a row for Instinct. Hey, Deathrow, you've got to find something in this round. You've got to find something, make it a 4-2, make that not an impossible climb. Just give yourself a little bit more breathing room. You're on the defense, it's defender-sided map, sure, but they've got to find a bit of confidence in their play style now. I guess you could always say this is one of the balances of experience versus Fresh Blood has experienced. When they're down, they know how to pick themselves back up. And Deathrow have got to find that.
Yeah, definitely got to find it indeed. We'll see how the rest of this setup has actually worked out, as we'll see Instinct on their final defense round. Not looking too good for Deathrow here.
No, yeah, I mean they've kind of seemingly struggled. They've been a bit less comfortable on this map. I guess they seem to have suffered a little bit from momentum, as we said. Some teams they can kind of shake off when things are going wrong, but from the kind of ferocity that we saw from them when things were going right, they're a little bit skittish. And there's Frey leaning into the other side, finding their strength, dropping Lion the IQ immediately. That is just a hard hit to take.
Not just heavy utility going down already, but Lion has been one of the consistent entry fraggers coming out here. And yeah, that is just unlucky. Already the IQ going down. And yeah, Strong is going to try and refrag, but he sees the bandit! Oh my god! And he's not going to be able to find the frag just yet. Just looking through the garage, you see him, but doesn't be able to find the shot just yet. Strong is not having a good day here. Jaeger still holding down below on the garage. Strong just trying to find the gunfight as Team Summed will try and help him out, and he will be able to find the gunfight. There we go. The Jaeger is finally going to find his end as it turns into a 4v4 situation just about halfway into the round now. As there's a lot of control here, but there's not a lot of actually happening. But there we go. That's what I wanted to happen. The ball is going to finally get opened up by the Thermite, and that is going to put the defenders in a pretty awkward situation.
Yeah, obviously there's Thermite on the board, Zofia and Thatcher. They have the possibility of a push there. But they've got to find a way to make it work. Again, look at the operators you're against. Echo, Maestro, and Smoke all still up and running around. It's going to be a hard take. Liz Wade is holding the top of those garage stairs and has been having a pretty storming match on that Maestro, looking for those fights with that ACOG Elder. Just going to move straight past the open door there. And they're going to go back for it. They want to get control. They don't know that they're being spotted this entire time. They're stacking 2 people up there, including the Zofia, who's potentially going to pop the charge. They are waiting and waiting. There's the charge and the push at the same time. Can't quite see through the haze, but finds one in and amongst it.
Very well played. Like, that is what exactly he should have done, even though he gets traded out for it. That's a Thermite off the board. That is a big kill. Now they can't open up construction. They only have that East wall to push through. 30 seconds left to go on the clock. Echo Drone will move through, but T-Sim does have control of the top of garage right now. Echo Drone there in that very nice spot does have control and doesn't exactly where this Sophia is. And Sophia has no idea where this Echo Drone is unless... Oh no. Unless there was an IQ.
Oh, unfortunately, she met her end very quickly. The other Echo Drone rotated out. The damage is coming in. A lot of stuns. Frey gets T-summed, and Amizian gets Shinro, and that is 5-1 to Instinct.
Absolute domination from Instinct during their defenses, and I think we saw as well that Deathrow really struggled on their attacks to start with against Instinct, and clearly on this map compared to Coastline, they were just not able to find their feet at all. We're going to swap things around, however, and, you know, there's only 2 rounds away from a potential draw here.
First draw of this season across any region. Not that we started first or anything, but it would be the first draw and the only draw from EU as well. So you're playing for a draw here, Instinct. You got to pull back a point. Give yourselves not the worst start in the world and shake your opponents. But at the same time, Deathrow, what can you bring on your attacks or your defenses even?
Well, don't forget as well that this defense side of the map. I mean, I know I mentioned a lot. I mentioned quite a lot already. I still feel like that this can easily go to overtime, or even just a complete reverse swap of 7-5 for Deathrow here. It is going to be a bit of an uphill battle for them. They're going to have to play almost pixel perfect Teacher.
Oh yeah, this is when you've got to make the tactics count. And we talk about bringing energy to your gameplay. You got to have all the energy in the world here. You got to be running and to the nines armed. So we'll see if that can translate. But at the same time, Instinct, they've found their groove. They've just got to keep riding it. If they keep playing the way they've been playing, this could be shut down into a draw very quickly.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
I'm assuming he's going to put a Valcam out here and not going to go for a run out.
Defender is approaching the kill
He's going to put the Valcam and go for the run out. Very interesting. Strong is getting ready to start being very aggressive with a death throw and not messing around here. He sees one. He's going to go for the run out here potentially. Frey is going to be putting down the Claymore. No, he doesn't want to do it. Strong, come on. Just kill this man.
They're waiting and baiting. They are pushing against it. It is Buck that's going to look for it, but at the same time, Jackal has taken a beating on the opposite side.
Yeah, he has taken a little bit of a beating there, as it's not looking too good for the attackers here right now. I think Buck has finally caught on to what exactly is going on here, why that door is open. Finds the finds the Black Eye as it turns into a 5v4. There goes the Legion, and the attackers are starting to pick out the defenders now. This starting early aggression coming out from Deathrow just hasn't worked out for them. I really think if Strong had just pushed, he would have gotten an easy kill.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's too little, too late. They've clocked on. You've got to get out of there, and you've kind of lost the opportunity. Not completely. There's still the possibility of coming back in. If Valk has the C4 in pocket as well, it can be very effective, but here comes the pressure against that famous eastern wall. Putting a little bit of damage into Maverick, flicking his sides with bullets and just tickling him as much as you can with a fully loaded gun.
Yeah, and good by the Thermite there as well to just repel upside down so that they can't catch his feet when he tries to go for the Thermite charge. Really well played there. You see the Nitro rips, and everyone around that guy has just heard that. They know someone is oil pit now, and Strong is just trying to hold it all down. The Jaeger's still holding down to the top of the garage. Still having someone up there is a big issue for the attackers. They're going to have to try and push them out of there. Just about 1 minute left to go on the clock. They do have a man advantage on the board here, and that Legion off the board is going to help them out immensely with this late bit push. But there we go. The defenders are going to even out the score by just a little bit. D-Sums is going to find his own kill there, and now it's a 4v4 situation. It's looking interesting.
Yep, definitely strong. The Valkyries starting to rotate back towards they went for the peaks before. They're trying to keep control of Garage, which is so vital. Strong finds Mesian in the meantime and gets the double as they shut down Frey as well. Crestblix deep inside point with the flashes and the camera. Oh me, oh my. Shinka ends up getting the frag, and it is suddenly a 1 versus 4 with only 15 seconds left.
Smoke's finally going to go down from Ponef. He just can't find the entry just yet. He's going to go for the pre-fires, but constantly getting pre-fired himself. He's going to go down. Deathrow find their first round on defense.
Wow, could this be the start of the impressive comeback we said was possible? You never know how Siege can go, and that's why we like to do the 5-5 split, because yeah, they were 5-1 down, but that was when they were attacking. Now they're defending. It's a completely different game.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see how it does go through as we move into round number 8. And I said, this is defender sided. And I think it's very possible for Deathrow to completely turn this around now. And this Habana ban, I think, is going to start to mess with Team Instinct here. It is definitely going to be very interesting moving through here now. I mean, the big thing we had as well during the Empire game is we had this Capitao pushing upstairs with the glass, where the Capitao was smoke bolting perfect places up the stairs and garage with the glass. Obviously there's no glass in this game, but it's definitely just something to point out as as soon as you get control of the garage area, you can really start to push with that. But there's not really been anything from Instinct there to really get control of the garage.
No, it's just Garrett. It's such a big point of contention now. It really rotated its way straight into how tactics can be applied, especially to that point where we talk about the importance of that east wall, but you can't downplay that garage, because you've just seen if it's held, it can make or break a team.
Yeah, it can make or break the team indeed. Moving into round about 8, though, there's still a pretty comfortable lead here for Team Instinct. But it is starting to get shifted away now. Deathrow proving that they can win defenses just as easily as Team Instinct can. And we'll see how exactly that is going to be working out for them. Lizwade going to be pushing all the way up on to this south side and seeing what they can do exactly. But I think the run play has been pretty slow from both teams so far. Although we haven't really seen a true good roam clear yet coming out from Team Instinct on this particular map. But there is a Cav on the board.
There is, and we mentioned before how Cav can be utilized in terms of the defense's ability to just throw off the attackers, let alone anything. In the day and age of everyone being scanned and searched and whatever in this game, having a Cav silent stepping around can just buy you so much ground and time and threat and fear in the push of the attack. And as soon as you put doubt in an attacker, that's when you can strike, and that's when you can really pull them apart.
Yeah, you can pull the part indeed. Looks like Zofia charges. There we go. Are going to go down. Don't forget, Zofia's actually had a change recently where she only gets 2 of her concussion mines rather than 3 of them. I think that's a welcome change, honestly. It doesn't allow her to just spam the wall into the site and just burn all the ADSs that she wants. As Echo Jones are going to move around. Looks like the defense is going to be getting fairly aggressive with this so far. See, someone on the castle is going to try and retreat down Moto Hatch. Interesting that they played that so aggressively and opened Moto Hatch despite the fact that Habana is actually banned.
Yeah, they've kind of given away a little bit of ground there. Here comes Cav lurking, and this could be a very important part of this, but no! Cav, you were shut down by the man, the myth, the legend that is Thatcher.
Great drone work coming out this time from Team Instinct, just expecting those flank maneuvers coming through. 1 minute left on the board. They have secured their entry kill. Let's see if they can turn it around into a win. As we'll see lots of physical play getting opened up. Team Instinct love to do this so far. We're in a Book and a Jackal shotgun along with a Zofia, and just plenty of self-destruction on the board all across the board. Sometimes they don't make good use of vertical plays, sometimes they do. Let's see which one it is today, as Church Wall is going to get opened up. That's good use of Thermite. I definitely prefer the Thermite use on Church Wall rather than purely for the hatches. We'll see how that goes down. So if he charges starts continue to go through into the site. 20 seconds left to go on the clock. Defenders are really starting to get pushed out of positions now.
5 rounds to 2. It's an important thing, and almost every single operator and player is up on the board, whether injured they are. The chaos is happening in and amongst the smoke though. T-Sumd finds one, Sin Shinro and Shinka all find kills as well. Lion unfortunately disconnects, but Deathrow get the round. The diffuser did not go down.
That is unfortunate. There was a lot of stuff happening there at the end, but I think a lot of it just came down to just pure flanks through Moto. And looks like we are going to have a rehost while we wait for everything to just get sorted out with Alliance's disconnect.
So, 2 rounds in a row for Deathrow. Is this, as we said, it's everything's to play for. They're rolling on it.
Well, think about it this way as well, that they won CCTV, and now they won downstairs. Now they need to go gym. Or, I mean, it never happens. They could go bar.
I love seeing bar played because it's so chaotic.
It's just not a good map. Although, my main reasons as to why it's not a good site is the fact that Lion exists. Now that Lion is permanently banned from competitive, for now anyway, maybe it's recoverable, but I still think it's just too easy for a plant to go down. I don't think that any sane defender, unless they had some really weird pocket strat, would go there.
And we're all about weird pocket strats here.
Yeah, sure. But no, I'm definitely expecting a gym bedroom defense, but I think that's definitely where Team Instinct can turn the tide.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Instinct, they're so close, bitterly close to pulling this draw, obviously, out of this. But again, they're fighting for a draw here. So, yeah, it's always hard when you are down a map and you know the best you can do is a draw. It kind of drags on you, and then when rounds start going against you, that's one of the hardest pits to pull yourself and your team out of.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But you would definitely want to go away with a draw than nothing at all. Don't forget, this is a league system. It's a round robin, best of 2. Every team plays each other team at least once, and then top 4 go to playoffs. Very, very simple sort of system going through. It's just one of those things, really, isn't it? About the system which the league's played in, because the best of 2, we said it every single time that it's all about the first map, about how the rest of the series is going to be defined and how it's going to be played.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you kind of see how a team likes to approach against another team, and you set your pace, and you set the pace of the game, and you control the pace of the game. As much as Siege is a shooting game and a objective-based game, it's also a game of control. It's map control, it's operator control, it's controlling the flow and the speed and setting it to the pace where you want them. And that is an overarching thing. That is how you want to do it, overarching across these 2 maps, the entire season. Just, there's so much more that goes on to this.
Yeah, there is definitely a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. We'll see, hopefully soon, as we'll begin our rehost process here on Clubhouse. Trying to get back into this game. Of course, it is 5-3, and I am expecting the gym bedroom defense. And I say that it's one of the main ways that they can turn the tide. I think it's fairly easy to get that jacuzzi wall open. I mean, Deathrow did it during their attack, and honestly, they pulled off a pretty good attack on gym bedroom, and it is one of the easiest sites to attack.
Do you think we'll see a shield in the second half?
I really hope so. I really hope we see a shield at some point. I just think that a Montaigne push through Garage up the stairs would completely destroy what Deathrow is doing on their defenses.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's you've got to look at your opponents. And to be fair, we can assume that the 2 teams now, I think both team chats are going to be quite heated right this second.
Yeah, I mean, it was 5-1, right? To Instinct at the end of the first half, and then you move through into the second half. Deathrow win 2 rounds in a row. They win the basement. They win cash, then they win the basement, and now it's starting to look like Deathrow are starting to turn the tide.
Yeah, and hey, we're very close to getting back into it. I'm sure this is a lot of psyching each other up and psyching the teams up, but it is not over yet. 2 rounds for Deathrow to bring it to a draw, and 2 rounds for Instinct to, well, win the map, but bring the whole thing to a draw. So we'll see how it goes. Gym bedroom, we're going to go up to even Castle, Legion, Jaeger, Alibi, and Tsumd is having a little bit of a think versus the Jackal, the Thermite. And again, we talked about the heated discussions they must be having. Here comes Maverick. Valkyrie is on the board as well. No, swapped out for a Pulse, Ash, and Liz Wade, who has had a pretty good game so far. Just thinking, well, what can I do here?
I was just about to point out there was no hard breach denial there from Deathrow. I'd be kind of surprised that there's no smoke or echo from Deathrow here, though.
Yeah, obviously there's the opportunity to 6th pick, but it's from a Pulse to a Valkyrie. They're gonna go without Echo, Maestro, Smoke.
I mean, Valkyrie's still pretty good here, honestly. And again, we keep bringing up that the throwing mechanics mean that Valkyrie can kind of just yeet her Black Ice to the freaking moon. So that's pretty good so far. And so far, Instinct haven't actually taken IQ once during their attacks.
Nope, that's the thing. IQ struggles because she's only got her tiny 15-meter range compared to the power of Valkyrie. But at the same time, you know, they came into this tournament, Deathrow, saying, well, we've got some creativity that we're going to bring. No one's going to, you know, they don't know what we're going to do and they don't know how we're going to do it. So I'm interested to see how they play this, where they put those alibis, where they kind of set up. There's the Valkyrie getting in bed with a shield. It's a crazy thing to see.
One thing I will say is that all the time the Instinct are bringing a lot of soft destruction, like pretty much every single round. I don't think putting a castle directly on the windows is that good. It's not really going to give you anything, right?
No, I agree with you. They're going to be destroying those anyway. Worst case scenario, like you kind of use that utility. At least if you put it on a doorway or somewhere a little bit more centrifugal, you can get a bit more information. But Puanef not wasting any time after that team talk, taking care of T Summed, and the Valkyrie is gone.
A great early frag coming out from, but definitely one of the most potential heavy fraggers coming out there from Team Instinct. As hopefully Jacuzzi Wall should start to go open up. So feature charges are starting to come through. Lion in a pretty bad place to try and deny that. If he goes for the ban and trick, he's most likely going to get picked to do it. And there we go. The Jacuzzi Wall will get opened up. Lion's getting so aggressive here right now. Flashbangs are going to go down. This is such a bad position. Drones are going to start coming out. Amishin's ready to go and get this frag right now. And the Bandit is going to be playing very aggressive. Lion just still peeking the hatch right now. How is he not dead? Why is no one peeking this man?
Wow, Lion, you are a bold man, but it's worked kind of well for you previously. There is the alibis coming in use. They're just kind of picking information out for those swing shooting through the windows. Strong is watching from underneath, wants them to peek those windows again. Cresplit is testing the fire, putting a couple of bullets, and obviously that is what the alibis are catching, and it's slowing down the push. They're trying to find a way in. The C4 timing there goes through it and finds the frag in and amongst it. I don't think either of them expected to see the other one there.
I'm amazed that Lion held the angle that long and still did not get the kill. Unfortunate for him, as Deathrow is starting to fall apart now. The drop shot does come through, but there we go. And that's the Ash entry frag that we all know and love. And, it's not looking too good for Deathrow right now. Yeah, definitely not good. Now it's a 5v1, all down to the alibi. Let's see what they can do here. It's all down to Strong. He's been one of the most consistent fraggers. Can he pull off the 5v1? The Diffuser will start to go down around Island. And the Strong is completely smoked off of sight. And yeah, there we go. Frey just picking him up for free. And Instinct finally finding a round of attack will put themselves on match point.
6-3 match point. They are so close, and that was far and away the best that they have looked. But at the same time, in Deathrow were struggling on that defense of Lion, watching that drop down for such a long time. And obviously it was down to rotten timing at the end. If they weren't in a C4 animation, it looked like Ash didn't expect it. But at the same time, what did you gain there? What did you really pull apart? They managed to push straight in through Jacuzzi. There was the underneath alibi, but it wasn't a great round for them compared to their previous defenses.
I think Lion was going for those, unexpected plays where you sit under the logistics hatch the entire round with a nitro in your hand and pray that someone comes up and tries to peek you. I mean, he missed it by like an inch. If you'd thrown it a little bit closer to himself, or maybe had his gun out, he probably could have gotten a kill there.
I think he would have. Yeah.
People look at that kind of thing and say, "Oh, that's so dumb," but it works so much because no one expects it. But Deathrow droned that really well. They played it very, very smart. They didn't let themselves get peeked unnecessarily, and yeah. Instinct played that very well. They didn't let themselves get played. Deathrow did not play that very well. They gave away a lot of frags very, very early on. And yeah, just put yourself in a 1v5. No refrags coming out at all from Deathrow. And at the end of the day, this is not what you want.
No, not in the slightest. But they are setting up those reinforcements now. We talk about the points that they held well and the points that they held pretty shakily. And this was one of the ones that they had a much more solid idea on. We saw the Valk with the position to run out, which she did not ever take. Managed to hold against the east wall being broken down and picked up frags in and amongst it. With, I believe, almost all of the team. I think 4 of them were still alive by the end of it. So this was a much better defense, and I think they'll find a bit of confidence rotating back to it.
Yeah, much better defense indeed coming out from them. Let's see how the rest of it does go through. As we see, of course, match point here for Instinct. All they have to do is just successfully pull off yet another attack here, but it is going to be on potentially one of the hardest sides. Garage is, however, going to get opened up very, very quickly here by the Thermite. That should be able to call for rotate. Lion gets so aggressive with it, trying to get a pick kill. If that had been successful, that could have potentially been GG there, but not quite yet. Maverick calls are going to get opened up by Frey to try and open this all up and deny the bandit tricking coming through. See some just still holding it down, but he is going to get droned out. This should be a quick nade, but there's no frag grenades actually on the board here.
No, you can see a long line end, and yet again, Maverick's toes got caught through the wall.
Yeah, quickly done indeed. We'll see Thermite. Oh, he's going to rappel all the way down. You can get the feetsies, but he's not going to do it. That's so risky right now. You could probably even get a nitro through that, honestly, but the run out is going to, come through. Not a run out. That's Lion getting caught out by his own drone hole. Is going to go down. Wow, that is a massive mistake coming out from Lion. It's not good at all. Imagine could be just pushing all the way through and go for the spree fires where he can. This east wall now is open, and that scores wonders here. This is not looking too good at all for Deathrow, but still got strong on the board. He could go for a potential run out here, but there is Ying on the board as well. ADSs are burned on site, but we've still got this Jaeger who's still playing on the top of Garage. And as I say, still have someone playing on the top of there. It is bad. Flashbangs will go out to confirm there is no ADS in the back site there. And surely Candela's still come out sooner rather than later. Smokes are going to go out for now. There we go. Candela's go out. C4s go out, but don't find its mark just yet. Ying makes his way all the way into the site. T-Sum takes down Emigian. And now it's a 3v4, but the Ying, he gets a kill, but no, the Jaeger from the other side gets the kill right back onto the diffuser will go down. The revive does come through. Now it's a 2v4. Maverick could potentially bring this through. He goes to the P, but no, he gets taken down. It's all down to Ponef. He's in a 1v3 now. He just take down one. The diffuser is in a good position. He gets quick peeked out, but no, he doesn't just meet the crouch peek. He gets taken down, and Deathrow keep themselves in this for at least one more round.
Wow, that was... It's one of those things that you see. There's so much aggression and so much push there. And I think it's the first time we've seen a Ying today.
Yeah, that is the first time we've seen a Ying today because Empire were not a fan of it. They banned it in both their matches. And we didn't see it at all last match. So, yeah. Interestingly done there indeed. That was very, very close. We've seen a lot of time that Instinct just... They plant the diffuser. They don't care what's going on outside. They just plant the diffuser and nothing else matters.
Yeah, and hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and unfortunately that was one of the times where it just didn't. Deathrow reacted very well to that. Got in, started putting aggression against it, made it a little bit messy as a firefight, which worked completely in their favor, because then it was just a matter of cleaning up after themselves.
Yeah, definitely. But this still looks like it will go in the favor, honestly, of Instinct. Just because, like, even if Deathrow win this defense now, which they most likely will, then they have to go back to Jinbin. And that was not a good defense.
Or Bar.
I'm really not with you on this, honestly.
Hey, Bar is where heroes are made.
Look, chat will understand, right? Chat, if you think that Bar is a good site and you think that they will go there, please press 1 to agree with Captain Fluke. I'm
10 seconds left before insertion.
interested, genuinely interested.
Latam would agree with me. At 6-4 match point, we still sit on here. Obviously, when they held Church before, again, it wasn't their most convincing defensive win. They seemed to be very comfortable in CCTV, but it was a very good hold. Generally, they picked off some frags. They were comfortable getting the coverage, even when they handed over a lot of that control over hatches, literally handing over a hatch down Moto, and then letting the floor get completely torn apart in kitchen. They covered, they watched, and they took down the kills that they needed to. Castle on the outside door there on that long corridor, watching for anyone to hang and cover rotations, I assume, but still, it's not the hardest thing to get rid of against a team that you know has been bringing pretty continual use of self-destruction.
Yeah, not at all. And yeah, this is what we've been saying all the time. In the Jackal, the Zofia, sometimes the Ash has been pretty consistently coming out here from Instinct, but the Legion is a pretty new addition here. We've seen Legion before, we just haven't seen too much Legion coming out from them right now, but it is starting to become very annoying as the push starts to come through. This, however, is a setup we've seen quite a few times before from Deathrow, where they castle out onto bar.
Yeah, I mean, their use of Castle, they seem to like playing with him and bringing him towards positions where you wouldn't normally see a Castle. There is a great pickoff there by T-Soomed, ready and waiting for Liz Wade as Crestblix finally pushes through, gonna flash bang those stairs across the central hall. He gets hit by another goo mine. Good use, as he said, of the Legion. Legion is starting to pick apart and give some information as they all go for the rotation. Maverick in the strip club. Maybe we shouldn't have seen the indecency there. There's plenty of time to pull back round towards the point through Western Hallway.
Yeah, definitely. It should be good indeed. Move through into the last minute of the round. As you see quite a lot of the defenders on the board. In fact, all 5 of them are around. They've got 5 of the utility left as well on the clock. Not looking too good for the attackers, however. As IQ still holding down, still waiting for this pick. He'll miss the cross, so the timing. That is going to be very frustrating indeed. Looks like he will try and drop down oil plate to try and get the frag. And there's 40 seconds left to go on the clock. Motor drop will probably come down sooner rather than later from the thermite to try and get quickly into the site. 30 seconds left to go on the clock, and we'll see where it is going to land. Smokes are going to come out to stop the thermite from just getting the plant down. Let's see, they just got it through that little gap right at the top of the reinforcement. Very nicely played from Deathrow so far. Let's see if they can keep it up. 20 seconds left to go on the clock. Oh, and he hits the Legion Mine at the same time. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's going to hit that. He's going to go down, but it's actually Jackal who has the diffuser in hand. He's going to get pushed. The Echo Drone is right there. It's the Pulse who pushes all the way up into blue. He pushes Secret. He should be able to win the fight, but the whoa, what a wallbang. And from the ping comes off, and yeah, the diffuser goes down. Defenders take the round. A very, very nice play coming out there from Deathrow. Great intel. Great use of Echo Drones, but wow. Instinct so close again to victory, but this is their opportunity now to turn the tide. It is a gym bedroom defense. If they can win this attack yet again, they will go home with a draw. Otherwise, we are going to overtime.
Now we will see what changes the defenders have to make, because this is theirs that they should change things on. And we've said before, Deathrow, they're very good at communication. We just saw it there, the combination of utility on that point. But when the strat doesn't work, that's when they seem to struggle, and they definitely struggled on this previously.
Yeah, no, that's definitely right. We'll see how this does go through. I still think that the castle placements were kind of awkward here from Deathrow, just because there's so much self-destruction on the board. There's still a few operators that aren't being brought here that I really think would be beneficial, such as a Blackbeard, a Montaigne, maybe even like a Blitz or something like that. Just something to get quickly into the site, something that hasn't really been doing very well for the attackers at the moment. We'll see how the rest of it does go down as we do move into the action phase shortly. Deathrow did not have a good defense. And I mean, I know it is a hard place to defend. All right. Maybe I'd like to see a slightly different setup. Maybe with an Echo, or maybe with a Pulse or something like that. I'm not sure.
Locking off the gym corridor with a castle is an interesting strategy here. I want to see how that.
So he's doing this so that they can ban a trick.
Ah, okay. So it's
solely
for the ban trick.
But
okay.
But the better way to do this is to 11 hit that castle barricade, so that if they try and just push into gym and plant, you can just hit the barricade and you can run in and deny it. But wow, that is not a good start at all. That's already the ash off the board. The run out comes through. The nice, beautiful spawn peak coming out there from Dirt Tunnel. How does that happen? And insanely well commended to our observer for actually catching that. Medics.
Yep. So you can see Frey also pretty bitterly injured. If you lose that thermite, that could have been it all over. Gonna get for the reset. Jeez, that was almost the 6-6 just in that one push alone. Lion and Lizway, two big players, trade each other and head to the afterlife together. And it is now 3 versus 4 with the Rook, the Ash, and Zafir all off the table. They're opening up logistics hatch, covering the angles. Obviously, we commented about how long it was watched previously, but they've got to find a way through this wall against a bandit who is dug in.
Yeah, the Twitch drone, however, will manage to pick off one of the shock wires. He'll guess... Wait, no! He'll guess right because he put it dead center. That is unlucky for the Thermite. He just put it just a little bit further over to one side. He probably would have been able to get away with that, but the multi-hatches will come out. This Alibi is desperately getting rid of any angles this Jackal can get. And this is not looking good at all for the attackers.
No, this is almost how they wanted the strategy to run previously, and it is working very well. Obviously, it's had a couple of changes here with the better coverage against the gym side, and as you said, to stop that banner trick, and we've seen it's completely stumped this push here. ONF is having to look for a completely different way into the point. In the meantime, Shinro finds Amizium 4 versus 2, and that is your Thatcher off the board. This is a hard one now.
Yeah, it's 4v2, not looking too good at all. Oh, he's not going to check his corners, and Shinka's just going to be here, instantly traded out, and it's going to be all down to Ponef yet again. 30 seconds left to go on the clock. He has smoke grenades still, not looking too good. He's just going to go for the pre-fires to see what he can do, but the crash beat comes through, not going to be able to get any kills just yet. But the trade will come out from Strong, rotates through Bar. Deathrow take round number 12, and we will head into overtime.
First overtime of the day. But that was some very, very good Deathrow. Obviously, we talk about it. There are 5-1 down at halftime, and they bought it back.
Yeah, they definitely were. So we are going to be getting into our first overtime here of the day. We'll see how exactly that's going to work out as we move on to... I really thought they were going to do it. Someone picked it. Someone picked the bar stockroom defense on Deathrow there. I saw it. We're going to see how this goes down as we do move through into a church hospital room defense. It's been pretty infallible defense so far from both sides. This Habana ban has really hurt them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we talk about the luck of the draw when it comes to that coin flip and moving into overtime, and Deathrow, they're on the defense, and I'm sure they are very happy about that at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an advantageous position to be in. We've definitely seen this as a defense on the map. I would also like to point out, and you can go back in the video and point this out, that I said this could very easily go to overtime. That I think that it will go to overtime, and look where we are.
We're in overtime.
We are in overtime.
Right here in overtime.
So I'm pretty sure I'm a genius at this point, pure analyst point of view.
Hey, hit him up, and maybe start your own league. Start your own calls. I want to. Who's going to be the first one to die in this overtime round?
I reckon it's going to be the IQ.
All right, IQ.
It's either going to be the IQ or the Lion. Just
you heard it.
Or Vigil. Lion playing Vigil. So we'll see how this goes through as we do see this basement defense. The big thing wrong with this so far is that the Habana ban has really, I don't know how to put this, linearized this attack. Like, it's just all about this church take. It's just all about getting down there, opening the motor hatch, and just either getting into back armory or getting straight onto church wall. There's really no other way you can attack this right now without just wasting utility. And there we go. I called it.
It was Vigil.
The Vigil does go down immediately, and no trade coming out yet at all from Deathrow.
I will say you also used the word linearized, so I think the genius things in a 50 balance.
We get that.
We'll gloss over that in the replay.
It's an on and off switch. You know?
It's but this is a good setup now. They're starting to put pressure. Vigil taken off the board. A big player for the team, as well as taken out of it in Lion, who is, he's been getting those picks. He's been getting those kills alongside Strong, and really, as we said, setting a tone for how they like to move around this map. This is arguably what we wanted from Instinct. We wanted this bit of aggression. We wanted them to find their feet and find their comfort. Because, as we said, when they have suffered and when they have stuttered is when they have lost.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, let's see how it is going to go down. Lots of drones are going to be coming out from the attack of Instinct. And they're all about wanting to bring this in now. Strong's just holding down onto this dirt tunnel. And this is what I'm talking about as well. Like, if they just brought a shield, they could have pushed dirt very well, and they could have opened a moto hatch and potentially pushed that way, or opened blue hatch and pushed that way instead. But there's no other different push coming out from the attackers right now. But the defenders don't really even seem to be responding to this. We saw last time that Smoke was playing in Church. Now he smoked off the top of that, but this time Smoke is playing into the dirt tunnel. That's going to allow just a quick push to come onto Church, just open it up and just push all the way through there. This is not looking good for Deathrow at all. They've lost so much control. They're a man down, but it is 40 seconds left to go on the clock, and Thermite is kitchen hatch right now.
Well, you can see 30 seconds. Time is tight. Legion has suffered a fair bit of damage, pushing right through Amizian. A death dropping straight into the smoke. No choice. 3 quick kills. 4. Frey with the double in and amongst it. Instinct. They are out for this draw.
Absolutely beautiful execution coming out from Instinct there. Deathrow just got torn apart, but again, same stuff just happening. Not really a lot of adaptation coming out from either team just yet. Although I will say that that this time Instinct concentrated a lot more on that push just on one side, rather than trying to take control of the entire site, right? Because like last time they had someone playing bottom main, they had someone playing Church, they had someone pushing Moto, they had someone pushing onto Kitchen Hatch, and they were all over the place with where they actually wanted to get control over. And yeah, like this time it was much more linear.
Now, this is their one to win. This is the round that they have to take in Instinct, just based on how these guys have been playing and where they have been lighting up.
There we go. Thank you, T-Summon, for finally bringing along the boy Montaigne. I honestly think that this is the best thing you could do in this situation, right? Because they know they're going to go probably CCTV, or they're going to go downstairs on Armory. In either of those sites, this Monty can push in, and he can get a lot of control. On top of that, there's not really been a lot of Legion coming out from Instinct. So
no, none at all, pretty much.
This makes the Monty play even better. On top of that, Clash is banned, so Clash can't really do anything if she was picked here to deny that garage push coming through. And pretty much every single round that we've seen garage still controlled by the defenders, the attackers have lost.
You should get into coaching.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, but we can see Monty now, as we said.
He's running the revolver though.
He's running the revolver, he's dancing, he knows that this is the right decision based on the dance of joy we just saw, and then he's going to go get stuck in a tree, which is unfortunate, but Sledge is starting to open that tiny, teeny sliver and gets a bullet in, but at the same time, Strong takes care of the Jaeger.
Yeah, great Dragon coming out from Strong there. Lots of drones are going to be coming out here, and Deathrow are looking pretty strong right now. They've got a good attack lineup coming through. There is a smoke play in the top of garage, however, and there are multiple members around, and see how it is going to be going through. How is it going to be executed exactly? Oh my god, Lion, how are you not getting kills here? And Mission is still going to be playing around to the backside here, as there we go, smokes are going to go down. There's a lot of early smokes coming there, and T-Sum just stuck behind a rock and a hard place right now. All 3 smokes already used for this Montaigne, and he's not even half health right now. Lion still trying to deny any sort of push here coming through, as Thermite will get open that east wall. And Mission is just holding down the fort right now, and he's aware that this Sledge is still trying to shoot him.
I don't think I've ever seen an operator in a tighter spot than Emision. Used almost all utility. They are shooting you from two different sides. There is the pickup on that kill with that revolver. Strong finds another one. This has been aggression met with aggression in these two previous rounds, and it is working in the favor of the attackers that have otherwise looked pretty lackluster. In both teams, the attacks just haven't really lit a fire. This is it. This is what they're playing for, and they both know it. Great take there from Punef against Shinshinro, covering the back of the Monty as they start to close down Punef. Lion drops the Monty, though.
Oh, what a disaster here, and it's going to allow the Echo to just get free reign over the site, and there we go. Ray is going to be able to trade out one. It's now a 1v2 situation. 40 seconds left to go on the clock. There is a potential clutch here for the Echo if he can make it. Ponef going to be just trying to play around onto cash room. He knows that below him is opened up, and Los Jones are going to be coming out. No risk coming out from Deathrow here. They really want to bring this in. And 25 seconds left to go on the clock. The fuser is in the hand of the Thermite, who will try and enter in the site in first. And we'll see the Echo just trying to walk around onto the bottom. He should realize that people have rotated upstairs. He will get droned out. They're just going to push all the way into the site. The cash room plant will start to come down. Podas should be aware of this. He should have an Echo drone nearby somewhere in construction, but no, he not moved it onto the site. There's a drone right next to him. He's being spotted out. He's trying to go for the wallbang, but he can't get it. What? He just got a wallbang headshot. How does that happen? It's now between him and the book, but he can't get it. And there we go. The book will take him down. Strong proves to be the better player. Deathrow will take this into max OT.
Wow, I have a lot of words for that round, and at the same time, I am a little lost for words. There's a lot that you could say about that, but hey. Came down to it, the diffuser went down, that wall bang, a headshot there, followed by the pickup, the silent, sneaky rotating. I love it. I love it. Overtime match point, 7-7.
I don't know, still, because like if he had an Echo drone on the site, he would have won that.
Yeah, there's a lot that can be said, but 7-7, full OT. In the new game mode, it's anyone's game at this point. CCTV and cash we head to. Obviously, this was the best defensive point that we saw Deathrow hold. But at the same time, they held Church very well. And then we just saw Instinct push and take it very cleanly. What you?
We'll also say that first time we've seen a Monty did exactly what I said he would do, push all the way into garage. He got complete control. And yeah, it was just insanely well played coming out from all of them. They had a very well-deserved victory on that. They brought this to max OT. Deathrow are going to be feeling pretty good about this right now.
Yeah, I can imagine that they are... Well, they pulled it out when they needed to. They can get the full points here, but they have all been battling this to the very, very end.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how it is going to go through as we do move into max overtime, of course. This is the final round of today. No matter what happens, there has to be a winner of this map.
The pings are coming out. Valk's cams are out and about. Again, something we've said a few times. The strength of Deathrow is definitely their communication and how they utilize that as a team. And Valk is a big part of that, strong living up to the muscles of the camera arm of Valk. But we can also say a lot about how Instinct have put across their team play as well, how they've managed to close down and adapt when they need to. Sometimes they've suffered from the unexpected, but at the same time, very good, very well-rounded players, and they are instantly closing in on a completely empty construction.
Yeah, they are indeed. This construction is being completely abandoned at the moment, and I don't really blame them. However, if you're going to do this, I think you would at least reinforce that area a little bit, rather than just let everything be so soft. But what? It was complete bait from the start. Beautiful bit of headshot wallbang there by Sin Shinro.
Shinro.
Yeah, that mute SMG-11 does come through. Very handy. The Zofia going down so early on. Really don't know why Zofia would breach charge that.
Exactly what I'm thinking.
Just, but we're just going to be fast. Just trying to save the utility, I guess, there. Now, T7 going to be trying to play around on this Maverick, see what he can do there exactly. But Maverick really has not been able to do too much here so far. As Lion is going to be able to get the kill easily, and now when Nitro comes out, it's all 2v5 now. Not looking too good at all for the attackers here on Instinct. Deathrow looking pretty good so far to try and go secure these kills. There we go. The Maverick is so lit up, but Lion finds one, and there we go. The jump out comes out, and a beautiful finishing strong. Deathrow take the last round flawlessly, and they will secure the series 2-0.
Well, that was everything for those guys, and you could tell they were playing to the very, very bitter end. Congratulations for Deathrow and commiserations for Instinct, at least for today, for this is a league and we have many weeks ahead of us.
Yeah, very well done indeed. However, that'll be all from us for tonight. We've had some great games, and I think potentially